Hey friends, we are at episode 50. Oh my God. I like, I am celebrating this. I don't know if anyone else does. I don't really care. I like, I am so pumped for getting to episode 50. I'm proud of myself. And I think that we should celebrate more things like this. So I am celebrating it and telling you this is episode 50. And I think that that's pretty good. Like, that's a fucking pretty good milestone. I can't remember what the stats are on podcasts and like how many episodes they last and stuff, but I know that, you see a lot that are out there and they have a lot of episodes and stuff, but those are the ones that you see. There's many that are started and don't make it that long. So I am full on celebrating this and just super excited to be at episode 50. So we have a few things I'm going to talk about today related to that. And this past weekend, yesterday when I'm recording this, was the Super Bowl. And oh my God. Okay. So if you did not yet watch the halftime show, you have to. You have to watch it because usually, like, I don't really care that much. I don't really care. Jameson has it on. He watches football, he loves it, whatever. I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I really don't give a shit. I don't really care. Um, but it was on in the background. And so, when it came to the time of the halftime show, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll watch. Fucking epic. That was amazing. So fucking good. Kendrick Lamar crushed it. Perfect time to do something like this. And it was just like such a statement. I mean, what a mic drop. Oh, amazing. I can't speak too much on the whole like diss thing. I like that song, but um, I just don't know the backstory. And like I do. I do, but like I'm not gonna talk about that. Um, but the whole like political side of it, oh my God, amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. So I just had to add that in there. And if you haven't watched it yet, you really should because it's so good and I feel like I don't know, it just gets you like pumped up. It totally does. So, anyways, episode 50, holy shit, we're celebrating this. And especially because, okay, so the reason that I really want to celebrate this and like talk about it is because I literally, and I feel like so many people are like, I never saw myself doing this, but like, okay, I was the kid. I was called tomato face in school. I was shy as fuck. Like, yeah, it was like a thing. And I hated talking in class. I hated being called on. I hated having to do presentations. Like, none of that. There is no world where I ever would have imagined that, well, I would have a podcast. I would be talking on social media. I would be like running my own business, doing all of these things. Like, no world did I ever think that this would be a thing, especially because I, part of it is having to talk in front of a lot of people. And like, yeah, I'm in my closet by myself, but when it goes out, I do know it can go out to who knows how many people, right? So there's always that thing in the back of your mind. And at that, like, thinking about it at that time, there is no fucking way in hell I would have ever considered doing anything remotely like this, it would have scared the shit out of me. And in fact, I was the manager at the running room. And I think I've told this story a couple times, maybe on Instagram, but I was the manager at the running room. And of course, we had, we have races and stuff. And I had to go up and give this like one sentence. I think it was a thank you or something. I don't even remember because I swear I half dissociated. I was shaking so hard having to do this. And I'm like, why? Now I would not give a fuck. I'd be up there and I'd be like, probably talking away and just like, whatever, not caring. But I was shaking so hard. I almost peed my pants. I was so scared. I was so scared. I couldn't get off that stage fast enough. And I tripped, slid down the stairs as I was coming off, basically like threw the mic at the person that had to go up. Like, get me out of here. I could not get away from the situation fast enough. And so this is like not something I ever would have thought I'd be doing in my entire life. Ever, ever. Now, I also want to say, like, with the podcast, with social media, all of the things, like, do I have a bajillion downloads and all? No, not yet. Will I? Yes. Just, just kidding. But I hope so at like someday. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever, I don't really care. I look at the downloads and stuff, but it's not, that's also not something that I'm like hyper focused on, but it's just one of those things that I really think when you think about the things that like you are so afraid of doing, but you know that it's the thing that you have to do to get to where you want to be. If you don't ever do it, if you don't ever start, if you don't ever try, like, how are you ever going to get over that first feeling of, feeling nervous, of feeling like, holy shit, what if no one listens to this? What if it's a total, like, quote unquote failure? I don't believe it's ever a failure, but um, you are never going to get past that unless you try and you get started. You're never going to get past it. And so many people stop themselves before they ever do it. And I've talked to so many people, especially like about starting podcasts, and they're like, no, I can't. Why not? It's, you know, you get this thing in your head, and not just about starting podcasts, but you start getting this thing in your head and telling yourself all of these stories about why you can't do things. But if you never start, you're never going to push past your fears around doing whatever the thing is for you. That's the only way it's going to happen. Like, you can't get over a fear of speaking by never speaking in front of people. You just like, it's not going to happen. You're never going to. Another really good one is like, so many people are scared to like get on camera on Instagram. You got to rip the band-aid off. And like most people listening to this, you probably already do it, but think about back when you were starting and how like daunting and how much anxiety that produced. I know for me, I was like, I did not enjoy it because obviously, like, I did not like the thought of people seeing me on camera, of like, because I thought of it as like being on stage. So I did not like it. Didn't like it. But the more that you do it, the better it will get and the easier it will get. That's the only way it's going to get easier is if you do it. And now I don't give a flying fuck. It's also just because I think my fucks are all gone. So that probably has a big part in that. But if you don't try, it's impossible to get to where you want to go. And just because you never saw yourself as doing a certain thing or, doing what you're doing now or whatever, doesn't mean that it can't happen. So there's three things I really want you to take away. And this, I think that this is interesting. We're going to go back to the Super Bowl for a minute. There was a few people that posted about this, and I found it interesting. So it was like, do you think that Kendrick had permission, like quote unquote permission, to actually put on that performance? Do you think he gives a fuck? Like, do you actually think he cares? And even if they were like, don't do that, the whole thing was like, that was the whole thing. It was like, no, no. So I think like it didn't matter. And the takeaway really from that though, you don't need permission. Like, stop waiting for this permission that's going to come to say what you want to say or like post what you are wanting to post. Like, there's no permission that's coming. No one's going to be like, okay, now's the time. It's okay to say this. Fucking say it. You don't hold these things back. Like, you can stand up for the things that you feel passionate about, your values, whatever it is, and say the things that you want to say in business. Like, what are the actual things that you are holding back on saying? Don't hold back on it because no one's coming to tell you. Now you have permission. This is the right time. Now it's okay. There's not going to be any, you know, online trolls or anyone that disagrees with you. Everyone's going to agree with you now, and no one's going to be upset because you said that. That's never going to happen. There's probably going to be, well, and especially if it's controversial, I guarantee you there's going to be people that disagree. There's a shit ton of people who are mad about the performance. There's, if you go onto my threads, that's a good one. If you want to check out trolls, although I do block a lot more because sometimes it just gets ridiculous and I'm like, no. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to wait for this like permission for someone to be like, okay, now it's your time. Now it's okay. Mm-mm. You just go do it. You say the thing that you've been wanting to say. Now, the second thing, one of the most important things that matters in you reaching like your goals in business or life, no matter what it is. And this is going to sound so cheesy and like, I almost hate saying it. I've said it so many times before, but it's just true. It's just true. It is believing in yourself. Like, it literally comes down to that because there are going to be people that are going to, tell you you can't do it or that you shouldn't be doing it or have their own opinions and be judging and be doing whatever the hell they're gonna do with this podcast. Like, there's literally nobody. If I, thought that the only way I could start a podcast was if people in my life all supported it, or if people who like lived around me all supported it, I would never start it. Not that my family doesn't support it, but like I don't even know it. Like I don't even know if some of them know that I have a podcast. Like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I don't give a flying fuck if they support it or not. Like it doesn't matter to me. And nobody that lives around me does anything like what I do. Like I no. And it doesn't matter. When you have big goals and you see a vision for yourself, that a lot of times other people can't see it because it's yours. A. But if it truly is that big, there like some people cannot see that, they don't want to maybe see that there can be that much possibility, or they don't think that there is that much possibility, or that those things can happen and you can reach bigger goals and you can have like an amazing business where you have a big impact and you're doing all of these things. And that's okay. They don't need to see it. Nobody else needs to see the vision as long as you do and you believe in it. Because I can tell you, I was told so many times that I couldn't do certain things. I shouldn't do certain things. I had someone that literally tried to take down my business. Well, actually, two someones. Weird. Um, and another person that literally tried to ruin my fucking life. And, you are going to have people that, hopefully that doesn't happen, obviously, but like, don't wait for, the time when everyone supports you or everyone believes in whatever your vision is or your dream is as much as you, because that time's not coming. You have to believe in it and you just have to take the action to get there. And the third thing is kind of in relation to that, but start thinking bigger. Too many people hold themselves back from like what you truly want because you think that it could never happen for you. You see it, things happening for these other people. You see these other people growing their business exponentially and, you know, having success and doing these things. Maybe they're speaking on the stages that you want to. They have a podcast. They, insert the thing that you would love to have, but you're like, no, that's never going to happen for me. Why the fuck not? Why not? The only reason that it's not going to happen for you is if you keep thinking it's not going to happen for you. Like, that's the only reason that it's not. But if you flip that around and you start thinking, that's what I want, and I'm going to do what I need to do in order to get there, you can make it happen. Because anybody who has the big business, who's speaking on whatever stages, who has whatever the thing is, had to start from somewhere. And yeah, sure, there's the people that got like daddy's money and blah, blah. We're not talking about them. Okay. Don't care about that. There's a lot of people that started right from the ground up, have to start from somewhere. And you can do that too. You just have to believe that you can. And so those are the three things that I want to leave you with for episode 50 of the podcast. And I seriously, I can't even believe that we're on episode 50. I have been loving doing it. So I hope that you are enjoying listening. Give it a 5-star rating and review. Give it the full 5 stars. Don't give me any less, please. I would love that. And go after everything that you fucking want and be unapologetic about it.